What is good, everyone? Welcome to this edition of the Views from the 573 podcast. Hope you guys are doing well. And the NFL regular season is over. It is playoff time. And also, we've had Black Monday. Coaches, GMs getting canned left and right. We also got the draft order set. It's a big time right now with the NFL. And joining me and talking about all this stuff going on, Matt Mormann. Matt, Happy New Year. How you doing?
Ryan, I have definitely been better. After Sunday, 2026 starting out with a smack to the face. Maybe a kick to the shin, but they would have missed it wide right. My quick Ravens aside here, Ryan, is simply, yeah, it was heartbreaking. It was awful. I spent about half an hour moping. But the Ravens have had better teams lose in more heartbreaking fashion closer to the Super Bowl. And so nothing, God bless you, Billy Cundiff. I didn't know. I need to thank Billy because nothing is ever going to be able to hurt me as bad as I was hurt then. So, Ryan, a little did we know that all these years I should actually be thankful for Billy Cundiff.
Yeah. After what happened on Sunday, yeah, I'm sure Billy would be surprised about it. Someone would be
I
actually
owe him an
thankful about
apology.
it.
I owe him an apology. Yeah.
But yeah, that is a silver lining. I mean, there's been better Ravens teams that have had other
Yeah.
stuff happen, and I mean, and so
Like
I
this
mean,
team,
does it suck? Yes,
yeah, it
but
does.
but not compared to some other stuff.
Th- this team was a flawed team, right? Their
Yeah,
best pass rusher is a safety. Um, like that's not great.
no,
Kyle's amazing, but like that's not what you want, Ryan. And so I think as like this team finished under 500. I think I'm becoming more and more accepting in the past couple days that like this team was going to lose at some point. So they lost there. Now they picked 14th overall, Ryan. You mentioned the draft order is set. Fun fact for you, Ryan. The last seven times the Baltimore Ravens have missed the playoffs, they have spent a first round pick on either a multi time Pro Bowler or Joe Flacco. And so, like, that's really good. I mean,
yeah,
that is there's reason for belief in the draft. There's always been reason for the Ravens when it comes to drafting. Like the draft
oh,
picks really are something they do tend to hit on outside of like the wide receiver position. Other than that, it's really something you can believe in. So yeah, no, that'll be great. Looking forward to April. But we've got something to do in between now and then though, Ryan. We have to crown a champion of this stupid league.
yeah, we yeah, we do. We got crown champion of this stupid league. I will say it is fun that besides Pittsburgh, all three of our teams are drafting in the top 20. It's
That's
weird.
not fun right now,
Well, I
Ryan.
meant to say, I mean weird. It's fun, but
It,
weird.
it'll be fun in April. It'll be
Yeah.
fun in April. Right now, it's not fun,
No,
Ryan.
I'll tell you what's also fun and weird. Kansas City having a top 10 pick. That is.
Oh, and Ryan, like they got to play head to head against the Titans, right? It's like we got to actually see that unfold. But after watching their Week 18 game, which we had it on, I couldn't bear it anymore. Third quarter, I told Rebecca, I'm playing video games. I'm done. This is preseason football. I couldn't. That team is so bad. And like they've put a bunch of guys on IR. It's not just Mahomes, right? It's actually Rice, a couple guys on defense. Like, it's a whole bunch of guys. I think one of the tackles is out at this point. Like, it's quite a few guys that are missing at this point. That team's awful, and they're
Yeah.
not entertaining at all. Like, they're really, really, really bad. But it is fascinating though. I think for the Chiefs, I think back to the Ravens 10 years ago with the Ronnie Stanley draft pick. And Ronnie Stanley's still a mega part of the Ravens today. That is the kind of pressure that is on this draft pick for the Chiefs. These kinds of things don't happen often for them. And so you really do need to nail it, right? This is Jason Tatum falling to the Celtics lap,
Yeah.
right? Except the Boston didn't earn that pick, right? But it's a similar situation where it's like, this is a franchise who does not pick up there like this. They have got to absolutely nail this pick. In my opinion, and I have no idea on the prospects at this moment in time either. I think the Chiefs would actually be really like potentially a good idea to even trade up higher. You think about what it costs to move into the top, let's call it top seven of the NFL draft. When you hold the 14th or what pick do the Chiefs have? Is it 10?
But it's 9. I think it's
It's
9.
9.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe you can move up to like fifth if there's a real stud something out there. Again, I don't know. Um, oh my goodness, Ryan, the Ravens just fired John Harbaugh.
Oh!
Holy cow. Here we are.
Oh!
Let me
Oh!
verify. I got an alert from Underdog. Let's see if there's anybody else here real quick.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's everywhere. That's Schefter. Yeah, John Harbaugh is out as the Ravens head coach.
Oh,
Okay, well, let's forget about the Chiefs, Ryan. Wow.
wow. Oh,
Um,
man.
okay. Wow. Um, so I guess my thoughts are kind of the ones we're waiting on here, aren't they, Ryan? So here's the
Oh,
thing.
man.
I have said this all season that people have said that Harbaugh is on the hot seat, Harbaugh should be fired, all that kind of crap. Um, in my opinion, I have come up with two names, and I don't even know. Ryan, were we recording? I don't even remember if we were recording when we talked about Brian Flores and we talked about
No.
Kevin Stefanski. Okay, we weren't recording yet. Okay, that was pre-recording. I think I said then, Ryan, before recording 5 minutes ago, that if the Ravens made the decision to move on from Harbaugh, there are two names who I can sit here for sure today and be good with, and that's Brian Flores, the defensive coordinator for the Minnesota Vikings, and it's Kevin Stefanski, the now fired head coach of the Cleveland Browns. Um, yeah, that fact remains. We'll see what they do, who they come up with. There's other names that I think I can feel okay about. And of course, they could do what they did with Harbaugh, where who the heck is this guy? And then he's there for 18 years, right?
Yeah.
Like you
Yeah.
don't know, right? People are laughing at Dan Campbell being a meme during his press conference. You don't know. And so that could be how this plays out. But my immediate reaction is going to be, okay, you can do that. You can, this is what all the Ravens fans are on Twitter, on Reddit have been clamoring for is fire Harbaugh and get rid of Lamar. And my answer has always been, okay, who are you replacing them with?
No.
So let's see that too, right? We're currently in step one. Stefanski's out there. Flores would definitely be available. It's funny, I just saw that the Browns were going to interview Todd Monken. I guess he's free to be hired by the Browns now.
Yeah. Oh, so let me ask you this: do you think Harbaugh is he going to coach in 2026, or is he going to take a year off? You think?
I could see, okay, real quick, because I'm a bit flustered. What all openings we have here? We have the uh uh well, now the Ravens, we have the Browns, we
Yep.
have the Titans, we
Falcons,
have the Raiders, we have the Giants, we have the
Cardinals.
Falcons, and the Cardinals. Those seven. Um, I don't see any of those teams being teams he would want to go jump on real quick. I think for John, if a team like the Ravens became available, that's where he would want to go, right? A team with a quarterback situation that is solidified, a team that is a real contender, but had a weird, crappy year. There'll be a team who has that next year. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know who. Maybe if something happened and the Chiefs are top 10 again next year, Andy
Oh
Reid
man.
decides to retire. Maybe Andy Reid decides to retire tomorrow. That's where I can see John then going, right? Um, maybe if the, you know, 49ers have a weird crap year next year and they decide to pull this trigger that the Ravens just pulled, right? Situations like that could occur. Maybe Sean Payton decides he wants to go back to TV, right? I think a situation will need to present itself that makes sense for Harbaugh. I could totally see him though, like tomorrow. I don't know how these work exactly. I know I can't think of who it was. There was one year the Ravens brought in a fired assistant immediately for that postseason. I could see him doing something like that with Jim, and for the rest of this postseason being some kind of an assistant, right? Just being in the room with Jim.
Yeah.
I could see that. Is there a world where John goes to a college team, Ryan? You would know that better than I would. Is that a
I
thing?
don't think so. But I did have a thought when you were talking about like which team could potentially be open. I don't know if it would happen, but with how Sean McDermott has done in the playoffs,
Yeah.
and I did, kind of getting a little bit prepped here. He's 0-5 on the road in playoff games. If the Bills say, "Hey, we want to move in a different direction," you go get Harbaugh.
Yeah, that's totally. Absolutely. And I do think, we'll get into the Bills when we get into the postseason. They've got a ton of pressure on them.
Mm-hmm.
This
Yeah.
is a postseason field that doesn't have Lamar, doesn't have Mahomes, doesn't have Burrow.
Yep.
There are no boogeymen out there to get you. Like you're the guy, big blue man. You go finish this one. Go cement that this year. We'll get to that in a little bit. But yeah, wow, holy cow, Ryan. Do you have any candidates that you think make sense?
I'm trying to think of. I don't know why Spagnolo came to mind, and maybe just because
No,
he was a
I
Titans.
can't.
Yeah,
I can't, Ryan.
I wonder. Well, there's another name. Did Anthony Weaver ever coach with the
Hmm.
Ravens?
He played for the Ravens, and I
Okay,
believe he did. I believe he was
because
defensive line
that is a
coach.
name I have seen circle in, with potential head coaching openings. Like that could be named. Oh, I mean, well, he, Jesse Mentor with the Chargers. With because you got the Harbaugh
Yeah.
connection right there. That could be something.
Anthony Weaver did coach also with the Ravens.
Okay, I thought
Yes.
like it made sense. Um, I don't know if
Yeah.
it'd be a
He,
head
he, pl-
coach,
he played for them also back in '02.
Denard Wilson, who's the Titans DC right now, but I don't think that would happen. But um, no, oh man, what a
Wow.
bombshell that we got! I know it's not a Woj bomb and Woj is out the game, but that's
That was quite the timing there, Ryan. Yeah,
oh
that
man,
was that was oh,
that
that
is
was great.
something. Now, obviously, of course, I would gladly accept him and packing his bags in Nashville, of course, but
Sure.
I mean,
I don't see
I don't
that.
I don't think it's gonna happen. But I mean, if he's like, you know what, Cam Ward, you're pretty fun. Let me coach you. Like, cool. um, yeah,
My phone
wow.
is just exploding over here now, so I'm sorry, Ryan, if I look down all the time now. My phone's just going bananas.
Not like this is really. I mean, there was always this little bit of realm of possibility that this could happen, but
Sure.
yeah,
Well,
wow.
and on yesterday morning, it really came out that they were going to look to make changes at the coordinator level. And I kind of took that as like a sign that, like, Harbaugh's safe, but they're going to make some changes, right? I figure for sure Zach Gore had to go. I liked you, kid. You were a really nice player, good in the coaching. He wasn't rated probably to be a DC. But I thought there was a chance even they do a Monken move. I didn't know that one for sure. Then Cliff
Mm-hmm.
Kingsbury came available this morning. I was like, okay, I could happily make that swap.
Yeah.
Gosh, I hope they don't go that route for head coach. I think Kingsbury, like Mike McDaniel, way better coordinator than head coach, right? Um, yeah, wow. I tell you what, Ryan, what are we talking about today?
I know this really kind of threw a loop into everything that we were talking about. Wow.
Yeah.
um, yeah. I say let's stick with the AFC as we talk about playoffs and talk about some
Playoffs?
seeds.
You want to talk about playoffs? What, Ryan, my team couldn't even win a game to get in the playoffs.
Well, hey, at least your team won 8 games. My team struggled to win 3. They
They
lucked
can
into
they can go
one.
they go hire Jim Mora.
Oh goodness, no,
Playoffs?
please no.
Jim Mora Jr. is probably still out there coaching somewhere, right?
Oh, somewhere. I don't know what level. It's probably not a good level, but um, no, yeah. Let's talk about the AFC playoffs and talk about how things are set up here. And really, honestly, Matt, this was like a full sprint finish with how the play with all the seeding and all that stuff. Like literally the last day of the season, we had to figure out who was going where, who was seated where's this team playing at. Like it was crazy. It had been a while since we have had a time like that. But taking a look at the AFC side of the playoffs, so Denver, they get the number one seed with how things played out for them. New England, they are number two, and they're back in the playoffs. It's been a while for them, but they're back in the playoffs. And then number three, we have I'm blanking on Jacksonville. Yeah,
Jacksonville.
Jacksonville.
Yeah.
There's a reason why I almost forgot it because it's Jacksonville. I don't want to remember that. But they've been really good. Liam Cohen's done a great job with him, and Trevor Lawrence has been heating up lately. Four, you got Pittsburgh, and then five, you have Buffalo.
No.
Five, Houston actually. Five is
Yep.
Houston. Buffalo is six,
Yes.
and then the Chargers are seven.
Yep.
So when take a look at these matchups, what kind of sticks out to you the most? Like, who out of these top seeds do you feel like, and they might need to watch out?
Well, quite frankly, if the Chargers come back healthy after taking a week off, I think all three of the home teams could be in trouble. I do think that I'm going to pick probably two of the three, maybe even all three. I don't know. What's really tricky is that Jacksonville Buffalo game. I have loved what I've been seeing lately. Jacksonville, Trevor Lawrence has been on a heater. They've been really, really good. I don't think like Trevor, a lot of it kind of has been his legs. I don't think it's sustainable, but quite frankly, it doesn't need to be sustainable. You've got 4 games left. If
Yeah,
you can just keep running this for 4 more games, you can do it. I'm not asking you to go out there all next season and do it again. But if you can just figure out a way to kind of work your way through a few more games, Buffalo cannot stop the run. Travis Etienne just had his best year ever.
yeah,
I could see Jacksonville pulling that one off. Like I said, if the Chargers come back healthy and that D line could give the Patriots some fits, Patriots really haven't played many good teams.
yeah. That's
Because
true.
unfortunately the Ravens don't even qualify as a good team. So when's the last time New England beat a good team? I don't even know. Like they blew that Buffalo game. Um, and then you got Steelers and Texans, and that one's interesting. I think I think being in Pittsburgh for that one might be what kind of tips the favor towards Pittsburgh. Being outside in a cold point of the year, it'll be a nighttime game. It's Monday night game. Also, Houston, hey, never played a playoff game outside of Saturday before, so here you go.
Hey,
Um, but they're a dome team that's used to the South, and now they're having to go play in Pittsburgh.
hmm,
Pittsburgh, they don't have explosiveness, but they do have experience. And they're getting DK Metcalf back. And the thing
yeah,
that I actually, to eat a little bit of crow on the Steelers offense, Ryan, but also to kind of go with a point that me and you made way back in the preseason, is the Kenneth Gainwell Jalen Warren combo fits that offense so perfectly
it
because
does. Yeah,
Rodgers loves to dump it off. He also loves to move both those guys out of the backfield to wide receiver or from wide receiver
hmm,
back into the backfield. And Rodgers does so much pre-snap maneuvering, and those guys are so versatile. And then Rodgers gets the ball out so fast. The best thing about the Houston Texans team is their pass rush.
yeah,
And look, the Ravens have no pass rush and they couldn't get to Rodgers. But even then, the design of the plays was get the ball out fast. So much so that I don't know how big of a factor the best part of the Houston Texans team is going to be. And so that's where I look at all these matchups and say, that's where I'm kind of going to probably make my picks based off of is the best part of your team and the worst part of your team. Was it something that's going to be exploited by the opponent or something that's going to be avoided by the opponent? Ryan, where do you sit with these?
yeah, I think the one thing that stands out is with that in particular with the Houston Pittsburgh game is the Houston defense. They have been on a tear.
Yeah.
They've really kind of led the charge of this run that they've had. They started 0-3. They have a 9-game win streak heading into the postseason. And a lot of those teams have not been scrubs. Like there have been some pretty good teams and good quarterbacks they've gone against, and they've done their work. They've really done well. So I think and one concern I have with that is Rodgers is a stationary quarterback at this stage of his career, and that can mean like, hey, D'Amico Ryans, he's going to have a game plan for that. It's like, okay, yeah, sure, Aaron can get the ball out quick, but we have two elite pass rushers on the outside, and Will Anderson and Daniil Hunter. We got awesome defense with an awesome secondary spearheaded by Petrie, Lassiter, Stingley. I kind of like Houston in this one, but I do think that cold is going to be a factor. And I do think the Rodgers experience that he has is going to play a factor, but I will take Houston in that one, I think, because of that defense. But I think this is going to be closer, a closer game than, whatever the spread is.
I'm with you on that. I will go Houston, but I don't feel great about it.
Yeah. And then I think Buffalo and Jacksonville is a tricky one because Buffalo, they've had their struggles on offense and defense to kind of close out the season. I mean, Josh Allen, James Cook, they do help. James Cook, the leading rusher in the league this year, but the passing game has had a couple fits with Buffalo. The defense is in and out for Buffalo as well. But this Jacksonville team, kind of like Houston, playing hot at the right time with a almost a double digit winning streak heading into the postseason. And then, like you said, ETN has been awesome. I kind of figured that those Jacksonville running backs were going to do good because of the success that Cohen had with Bucky Irving last year when he was the OC at Tampa Bay. And then Trevor's been awesome. I mean, and honestly, the weapons for Jacksonville have been pretty good. Thomas has had an all right year compared to his rookie year, but
He had a
Parker
crap year,
Washington
Ryan. He
has
had a
been.
crap year. Thomas was awful. It's okay.
He was, and like they've also not had Travis Hunter in the lineup a whole lot, but
Right. But
Parker
Jacoby Meyer,
Washington has been great.
yes. Parker
Um,
Washington and Jacoby Myers both have been really,
yes,
really good for them.
and then the defense, the defense is good. Like they get a lot of pressure, so they just don't get a lot of sacks, and I kind of fear that could play a part because Josh Allen, not easy to bring down. Um, so I
But he's
kind of
hurt.
take a look at this, and I might lean towards Jacksonville considering the Buffalo defense is just it's not it's average, below average, and just the fact that they're 0-5 in road games when McDermott's the head coach in the playoffs.
One thing I'm struggling with is the Jacksonville defense. Ryan, it has been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. Last time they gave up more than 24 points was 9 games ago. That's great. If they only give up 24 to Buffalo, I think they're probably going to win. I think Jacksonville's going to score more than that.
Yeah.
Problem is, who would they play in that stretch? Chargers, I believe at that point we're already pretty banged up on offense. Cardinals, Titans, Colts, Jets, Broncos, Colts, Titans. You didn't exactly play, the greatest show on turf in that stretch. So I don't know how much I really fully want to buy into their defense as far as that goes, but they have been hot. And offensively, they've been incredible. And again, some crap teams in there, but some good defenses in there,
Yeah,
right?
the Denver
The
one
Colts,
stands out.
the Denver one in particular, the Chargers do have a good defense.
Yeah.
The Colts defense, not bad, and they torched them the first time by a lot. They scored 36 on them. So yeah, Josh Allen's foot also continuing to be a problem.
Mm.
I'm gonna go Buffalo here, and I don't like it. Quite frankly, I think my AFC pick comes out of this game. I will feel way better about who wins the AFC after this game, either Jacksonville or Buffalo, either way. Um, I'm gonna go Buffalo. I think Allen just finds a way to get it out of it. I think. But man, I wish they weren't playing each other because I believe in the Jags way more than I believe in the Patriots or the Broncos.
Yeah, and so that's a good segue to the Patriots game with the Patriots and the Chargers, and pretty banged up offensive line with the Chargers, and but you do get a Marion Hampton back. Herbert is going; they're going to be leaning on him, and that defense is good. Patriots, they're riding a hot win streak too. Again, a lot of it's been bad teams, and they had that one game where they let the lead go against Buffalo. But Drake May has been awesome. The accuracy, the deep ball, he's in the MVP race. Trayvon Henderson and Stevenson are coming on at the right time, so that's pretty big for them. And they did just get Milton Williams back. That's big for them as far as their defense goes. How do you feel about this? I don't know if young upstart Patriots team is the right phrasing for it. Considering they got some vets and they got Vrabel on the sideline. But how do you feel about them going against this Jim Harbaugh coach team?
Well, I feel good about the Patriots because of the injuries on the Chargers side, right? Like if the Chargers were fully good to go on the offensive line in particular, then this would be a whole lot closer to me. I think the Chargers made the right call in resting their guys for a week. Lord knows Herbert needed it, him above all. And
Mm-hmm.
so I'm hopeful for the Chargers that that rest gives them a little bit of a boost. I am still taking the Patriots here. It's a West Coast team going to the East Coast. It's gonna be cold. I don't know what Herbert's like career has been like out in the temperatures, but yeah, I think May is enough to kind of figure it out for this round.
I'm kind of with you there. I think they're good enough to figure it out this round. Vrabel, I mean, the guy has postseason experience. He's been in these spots before, and I think that does help you as far as like with the team that has some young talent here. I think that definitely helps them and kind of gets them steady as they get into postseason play. And because postseason play is completely different
Hmm.
when you get into it as a younger guy in the league compared to playing in the regular season, whole different style of ball. They do mean more. So I'm going with the Patriots as well. I think May is, like you said, is good enough to get them in this round, and I do think Henderson and Stevenson peaking at the right time. I
Sure.
think that's huge. I've honestly kind of felt this whole season Stevenson's been kind of like an afterthought of sorts, and then he's really kind of come back. That's just kind of the way I perceived it. But then Henderson, he kind of had a couple rookie struggles, but then he really kind of really found himself here, and he's really getting high at the right time. Is like this is why they drafted him where they did. Um, so and the offensive line has played well. Will Campbell, that pick has played out pretty well for them. So I think Patriots get by the Chargers, and so that means Patriots move on. Uh, you know, Texans move on, and then Jaguars and Bills move on. In which case, one of those teams is going to have to go to Denver in the next round. Whoever's the lowest remaining is going to have to go to Denver.
Yeah. So the only one we disagree on is you've got Jacksonville, I've got Buffalo.
Yeah.
My dog is not going to be happy to hear that.
Yeah, the big scary blue man. Yeah.
Yeah, my dog is not a fan of one Josh Allen. But maybe the good Josh Allen will tackle and sack the big blue man Josh Allen, and my dog can be all excited for that.
It's so confusing. It's so confusing. Yeah, so I mean, in that scenario, the lowest team left. So if Buffalo, if Buffalo makes it, they would have to go to Denver in that scenario, and then with those team winning it, then Houston would have to go to Denver. In my scenario, so we'll have to see. But one of those teams is going to have a trip up to Denver, and I'll tell you what, if it's Houston and Denver, battle with two great defenses right there.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
that's the
It's gonna be
case,
a race of 20 points.
for real, and I mean partly because of Denver's offense at times, it's just kind of stuttering, but
That's why I
um,
don't trust Denver at all as a one seed. I think no matter who goes to Denver, I think the Broncos lose that game. Um, And that's why actually for my bracket, I've got Buffalo winning in Denver, and I do have New England beating Houston, and then Buffalo beating New England. And so I have the Bills going to the Super Bowl, Ryan. But that is, I think, no matter who goes, and honestly, it's funny. I said, either way, the path to the Super Bowl to me starts with that Jacksonville Buffalo game. I would go similarly in your scenario. I would have Jacksonville going into New England to win. And then I ended up having Jacksonville beat whoever won, Houston, Denver. And so to me, either way, the AFC representative actually comes out of that game. The 3v6 game to me is deciding the AFC kind of no matter what. And so I'm looking forward to being wrong about that.
Well, I'll tell you what, poor Vrabel, he's not going to have Derrick Henry to lean on if he has to play the Jags. He can't just trot him out there 40 times a game and just hope he just bullies them.
Yeah, Henderson might break if you try that with him.
I mean, Stevenson will probably be the more willing of the two, but he might end up fumbling it. So, yeah.
Well, and so would Derrick Henry.
Uh, oh, man. Yeah, that is the AFC. Okay, we are talking about the NFC now. We had to take a little bit of break, but I was just telling Matt we had I wouldn't say as big a breaking news as the Jim Harbaugh or John Harbaugh news, but it does concern my Titans,
Oh?
and it is Jason Garrett interviewing for the job on Friday. Don't know how I feel about
Take
that.
him, Ryan. Take him so the Ravens don't. And get him off my television screen. That would be great.
Well, can't somebody else do that? Why does it have to be us? Make the Giants go do it, not us.
He's already coached the Giants.
As an offensive coordinator, make him the head coach. Take it a step further. I don't want that. No.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Gosh, Ryan, is this what it's gonna be like having a team with no head coach? It's just gonna be this depressing, just like wave of rumors and instability. Is this the life I'm about to head into?
Hey, listen, I've had experience with this with the Titans and the Vols, and I mean, I don't know if it's fun per se. It has its moments. Um, particularly back in the day with the Vols, like everybody was like tracking planes and all this stuff, and just like figuring out where everybody's
Oh, it
going.
was the full Shohei Ohtani experience.
Exactly. Like people were just like scouting out airports, like figuring out which plane was going where.
What's
Oh,
funny, you mentioned Jason Garrett, and earlier we brought up Spags. The year the Ravens hired Harbaugh, those were the two big coordinators. And Garrett was promoted for the Cowboys, and Spags went to the Rams, and the Ravens just hired this special teams coordinator. No one knew
yeah.
who he was, and he lasted for 18 years. So it's funny how that works out.
It is. It's crazy how it works out. All right. We're talking about the NFC here, talking about these matchups. Of course, Seahawks, they have a bye. They've earned the 1 seed in the NFC. We got our 7-2 matchup with Green Bay heading to Chicago. We got our 4-5 matchup with the Rams and a rematch against the Panthers that we had earlier on in the regular season. And then we got the 49ers. Well, my internet's not working, so I can't pull up who the 49ers are playing. But the 40
Eagles.
that's who it is. Okay, my internet is being for whatever reason being really wonky right now on my iPad, so I don't know. But 49ers and Eagles. Matt, I was kind of thinking about this as we had our little break here. Um, what kind of stands out to you about these matchups here in the NFC with we got AFC North or NFC North matchup. We got a rematch from the regular season. We got the defending champs going on the road to San Francisco. What are kind of your initial thoughts?
This one's much more straightforward to me. The AFC, I can make a very real, compelling case for all six outcomes. NFC side, I think this is a bit more straightforward. The Panthers, one of these things doesn't belong here. I think the Rams take care of business in Carolina pretty easily, right? Um, the 49ers at Eagles, look, man, when the Eagles have their act together on offense, they are the Eagles of last year still. It's still in there, and we see it from time to time. Defensively, they're still really good. And I saw a stat earlier. I don't remember who it was or what the exact stat was. Basically, Kyle Shanahan has struggled against Vic Fangio. And, that is the matchup here. Also, you look what the 49ers just did against the Seahawks. and that poopy platter, like that was bad. And then the Packers, man, Ryan, back in the preseason, I was all in on the Packers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's a whole litany of players who are on this team in the preseason who will not play in this game, right? Jordan
Mm-hmm.
Love,
Yep.
I think is gonna play. Sounds like, right? Like he
It
was
sounds
the
like it's
dress
trending that
backup.
way.
So he'll at least be there. We'll see what kind of Jordan Love he is. Micah Parsons is obviously the big one, but also Zach Tom on the offensive line. I
Yeah.
believe one of the other defensive linemen is out. Like there's guys missing here. Tucker Kraft was a huge breakout during the
Oh
season,
man. Yeah.
and he's been gone for a while now. So to me, it's a pretty easy Chicago, Philly, Rams.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I did say Philly was on the road to San Francisco, so that's San Francisco on the road to Philly. So
Yeah,
forget what I said about that, but
I forgive you.
going to that matchup, I mean, yeah, Shanahan has had the history there with Fangio, and this Philly defense is one of the better things about this team at the current moment. Is this defense is rock solid. I feel like we've been saying that about a lot of teams so far that have really strong defenses heading into the playoffs. So I mean, that's I think something you're going to be able to lean on this postseason is those guys, and they face the top quarterback talent, so it's proven. The offense, though, is I think the question mark for Philly, and just like it's inconsistent. The running game has struggled to get going at times. The play calling, hurts. The offensive line isn't where it normally is. So I think there's some questions about that. But I mean, the San Francisco defense is not the best either.
No,
They are not the best. And the offense is what is the big thing here. So it's the classic good offense versus good defense type of battle here that we have here. But I think a lot of it for San Francisco depends on who is healthy for them. That's been the key for them this whole season. Are you going to have Trent Williams? Or are you going to have Ricky Pearsall? We'll have to see. But I'm kind of with you with Philly. I think defending champs, I think they lean on the defense. And it's just a matter of like we don't know who's going to suit up for the 49ers on offense. And maybe the offense is able to figure out something against San Francisco and get something going there. Um, Rams Panthers is interesting because of course that first matchup the Panthers beat the Rams. Um,
that's true.
so yeah, you don't know, and the Panthers did kind of backdoor themselves into being here, getting a home playoff game. Which side note, good for the Panthers at least getting here at this point, even though they're 8-9. Because they've had their struggles over the last few years. You didn't know if Bryce was the guy, and he's done well so far. But the Rams, I think for them, they're getting Quinn Lake back on defense. That's huge for them. They might get Devontae Adams back on offense, so that'll be huge for them. I think I'm with you as far as the Rams winning this one. I think they're finally like, okay, hey, you guys won the regular season, but we're going to win the game when it counts the most. And Stafford playing at MVP level, I'll take the Rams there too. And then the other matchup, Packers Bears. Like you said, Matt, if they had these the guys that they were supposed to have here, I'd like it a little bit more. But it is tough, and considering Green Bay has come in and they are really cold right now. I believe I read they've lost
Yeah.
their last 4 games, and you don't know how healthy Jordan Love is going to be. Even though the Bears defense is not great, they capitalize on turnovers. That's their mo. I'm with you in taking the Bears here because I think they're figuring out stuff on offense. I think they're figuring out stuff on
Yeah.
offense at the right time. Colson Loveland has done really
Mhm.
well here the last few weeks. The run game has done really well. Ben Johnson's been able to put his mark on this team, and they might get Romo Dunze back. That could be big for them in an offense where, I mean, not to mention Luther Burden has had his
Mhm.
moments here down the stretch. So, yeah, defense not great, but I think when you're going against a team with the Packers where Zach Tom is out, Jordan Love is not going to be 100%. I think the Bears is probably the right pick here. And listen, that Chicago fan base is going to be hungry when that game comes along because considering where the Bears have been the last several years, they're hungry for some playoff action. So they're going to be raring to go, especially against a NFC North rival. So I think it is more straightforward, kind of like how you put it. It is more straightforward with this one. Bears, Eagles, and we'll also go with the Rams. So, and plus, I feel like those are probably the more, especially the Rams, the more likely teams that you could see coming out of the NFC. But yeah, I'm kind of with you on the NFC. It's more straightforward than the AFC. The AFC is just like, let's just throw
Oh
let's
yeah,
have them all on the dartboard and just throw in like that's who your pick is.
Ryan, do you like a fun fact about the Packers versus Bears game?
Oh, let's hear it. I'm always down for fun facts.
The last time, well, these these facts aren't incredibly fun. Depends on who you are, I guess. So the last time the Green Bay Packers won a football game, Week 14, against the Chicago Bears. The last time the Chicago Bears won a football game, Week 16 against the Green Bay Packers, and now they play each other. Both of their previous wins were against each other.
That's funny.
I don't know how much of a fun fact that really is. It may be more fact than it is fun.
Yeah, but it is a funny fact. It is a funny fact concerning
It's there's some humor behind it. Yeah.
the last their last wins were against each other. Um,
I don't know how many times that's happened in like the history of the, especially in the playoffs. Like
true,
that's
true.
that's gotta be a rare one.
It has to be. So we kind of did this with the AFC. Say like, okay, we going chalk here. The Rams win, the Eagles win, and we also um we also get the, oh shoot, I'm already blanking. The
Bears.
Bears winning, the Bears
That
winning.
Bears.
Um, so in that scenario, the Rams would then go on the road to Seattle,
Hmm.
in which we have seen that game played out. It was a fun one. It was a really fun one.
Yeah.
Um, I, I'm curious to see how that would go in a rematch here in the postseason, and then of course you get the Eagles, and then you get the Bears in the 2 versus 3 matchup. Well, I'm really curious to see how those would go. I'm really curious to see how those would go, considering again that Bears defense is not the greatest, and the Eagles offense is performing at an inconsistent level. And then you got the whole Seattle and Rams rivalry there. How would you feel about those games? Because it feels like
So
we're probably on a collision course of those. It feels like it, at least.
yeah. So I would have Seattle holding strong at home against the Rams. I think it would probably not be as crazy high scoring as that first game was, or as
Probably
that second
not.
game rather was. But I think that I can see them finding a way to still get it done. And then I've got the Eagles over the Bears in that one. I think it's a bit of an experience situation. And then that then leads to an NFC Championship game of Eagles at Seattle. And Ryan, we can go way back in the podcast archives here and find Matt Mormann, the Sam Darnold guy. Way, 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 way back there, back when he was at USC, Ryan, and I had to sit here through the college previews of you and Peter, and I was like, "Well, this Darnold guy, he sounds like he's pretty good." It's been a long road, Ryan, but I currently have Sam Darnold leading the Seattle Seahawks. Let me rephrase this. I currently have the Seattle Seahawks leading Sam Darnold into Super Bowl 60.
That's probably the better change up right there.
Yeah, yeah, that makes more sense. So that's how mine shakes out. I've got Bills and Seahawks in the Super Bowl.
Oh wow, yeah, yeah. The Seahawks. I think the thing with them, the Darnold of it all,
And
he leads all
I
players
know,
with giveaways,
does
and
he really?
that's what I got pulled up here. It's 28 giveaways, 2 on defense via fumbles and all that stuff. Yeah,
Mm,
Sam Darnold leads all players with 20 giveaways, 40 interceptions, and 6 fumbles.
boy.
So I think
Wait, I'm sorry. How many interceptions did you say?
14.
Okay, I think you said 40.
No, no. Oh, now, listen. If he had that record, I would have mentioned it straight away because like this is too fun to not point out. Um, so 20 giveaways, and I think going against a Philly defense with Fangio. I mean, he's gonna know that. He's gonna watch the tape and just kind of see what all they can do. And with that being the strong point of Philly's team right now, I feel like you could probably get some takeaways. Seattle's offense also starts pretty slow, but then they pick up. So I don't know. I don't know if I would lean Philly in that sense because of that defense and like the Darnold giveaways situation. Now, if it's the Rams that make it that all the way there, I think that would be a really fascinating matchup. We got with Sean McVay's offense going against Vic Fangio's defense.
Sure.
I mean, and we saw a little bit of that last year, but that was the snow game. That's when it snowed. So I mean, we
Yep.
we didn't see a whole lot there. I don't know. I do like one of these NFC West teams to make it out. I might lean towards the Rams. I think.
Man, but they'd have to go on the road probably 3 times.
True, but it has been done before. There is the
It
history that
it has, and I have Buffalo doing that.
yeah
I just think Buffalo with Cook and with Allen is more built and being kind of an outdoor bad weather place in Buffalo anyway. Like they're more used to that. We've seen them have that kind of success. Matthew Stafford outdoors, he's not a complete tank job, but it's different. It's a different player. I worry about the Rams and Stafford being able to string together those games on the road, right? Especially if you're having to go to what is it at this upcoming weekend you're in
Carolina.
Carolina, so not so much worried about that. But
Yeah,
then in Seattle and then at Philadelphia potentially or at Chicago, right? Either way, that's a road game. And so I just worry about Stafford in the elements of that outdoors 3 straight games. Compare that to Buffalo, who I do have doing it though, and their team that just I feel like is more built for the outdoor game. They're built to travel around. They're built to be a road team a little bit more.
yeah. And I think if you're the Rams, you make it that far, you're probably rooting for Chicago because you take a look at that defense, and like yeah, the takeaway number is huge. You're able to get points against them. You're able to get
Yeah.
points against them, and you feel confident because you got McVay on the sideline, you got Puka, you got Devontae, Kyron, Blake Corum, and then you got a pretty good defense yourself. So I think that would probably be the matchup you hope for out of all these teams if you're able to make it out this weekend and you do find yourselves amongst the final four in the NFC. Um, is there anything else you want to tackle here? We already kind of gone through all the playoffs.
Well, I gave my final two, Ryan. What's your final two?
So I think I'm gonna go with the Rams. I think I'm gonna go with the Rams. I think I'll go with them, and then I got to think about who I picked in the AFC. I can't say Buffalo since I had Jacksonville win. I think it would be fun. The two MVP candidates battling out:
Okay. Yeah.
Drake May, Matt Stafford, old guard versus new guard, Vrabel versus McVay.
A rematch of Super Bowl 52, 53,
And one of those, it sounds about right.
and a rematch of Super Bowl 34.
I mean, and what better way, with Brady, getting his first against the Rams. So
Yeah.
it's
Isn't it stupid that I was able to just like immediately clock that was 34? No, I'm sorry, it was 37 because the Ravens were 35. So the Rams won 34. Then Ravens 36 then was Rams Patriots, right? 36.
I trust you more on that.
Yeah, yeah, it's one of those, and it was like one of those early 50s was Rams Patriots the second time in really that exciting defensive battle, Ryan, between Goff and Brady in that one. We invited people over in Cape that night, and they were bored.
I mean, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
that game was not fun. No, that's my pick. That's
Okay.
my pick.
Who do you have winning it of the Rams versus Patriots Super Bowl?
I'll go Rams.
Okay.
I'll go
I've
Rams.
got Buffalo, Seattle, and I think neutral side at that point. I think the brights are extra light. I think that at that point is when Sam Darnold pees down his leg and Josh Allen gets the job done. And so I've got the big blue man hoisting the big gold trophy.
And it'd be what a year to cap off for Josh Allen too.
Yeah, he finally he you know what he had to go buy a ring in order to earn a ring, you know. This
Oh,
is the year to do it though. I mean,
it
me and
is.
Rebecca were talking about this after the Ravens lost that like I think for me and her, we need to root for the Bills on this one because this is our only chance we get to. Like for the
Hmm.
remain for Allen's entire career, at some point in the postseason, it's been okay, my team and slash or her team versus the
Hmm.
Bills.
Yeah.
And moving forward, that is likely going to continue to be the case. Probably her team, probably not my team. We don't have a head coach. And from my understanding of my friends, when you don't have a head coach, your team sucks. Ryan, do you realize that your team's the only one who's changed coaches in like the course of our friendship until now? Oh dear.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the Steelers, the Chiefs, and the Ravens all not changed. And
Eh,
now
it's not just one
you've
team.
had
It's
how
it's three teams
oh dear, Ryan.
multiple
Oh
times.
God. Multiple times in this span. We've talked about Ryan having a new head coach. And I finally joined that club. Man, it's really the Homer Simpson meme or gif of join me on the couch.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
looking
Get
forward to this
get ready to
process.
learn how to track planes, Matt.
You know, I already did that once with Shohei. All right. I did it once and it ended up being like an entertainer going from LA to Toronto. All right. I'm done tracking planes.
Oh, dude, there's probably some Tennessee fans I could help you that can show you the ropes. They would probably like it. It's like, oh boy, we got a coaching search. This is what we live for. We haven't had to do this in a minute.
Oh. I mean, I
Oh,
went through enough of it, finally kind of following Mizzou with the whole drink situation,
yeah.
right? Like, oh, Brian, drink leaves Mizzou. John Harbaugh, the Missouri Tigers' next head coach.
Mm.
I would be the biggest Mizzou fan. Like, I would be just waving the black and gold, and not that black and gold, Peter.
Yeah. Better be more specific.
I'd be eating Tiger Stripe ice cream every Saturday in the fall.
Oh man, I don't think it's gonna happen, but in another
Wouldn't that be
universe,
incredible though? Hey, it's multiverse, all right? You know, you're wearing your Avengers hat. We just got a great trailer about the X-Men multiverse scenario. John Harbaugh, next head coach of the Missouri Tigers. Of the Missouri Tigers.
oh lord, not the Ohio State thing.
Ryan, it's basically the end of the podcast. Do you want to do 3 minutes on the college football playoff?
Yeah, let's do it because they're the semifinals are happening later this week.
So my first question is, is it true that taking a month off is just too long?
Now I'm kind of leaning that way because the last two playoffs, all the teams that have had the top seeds have all lost. So it's just like there's a correlation here.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely think so. I don't know how you fix it because I feel like I don't know. Does FCS play at all during like the Christmas time? Like I don't know. I feel like around Christmas you can't. You know that's a tricky thing with these college kids. But man, you're being paid like pros, so
Yeah,
maybe it's one of those situations where if you're getting paid like a pro, you got to work like a pro. I don't know. Maybe that's just the deal.
yeah, yeah. Well, I know the FCS had their I don't know if it was championship, but I know they had a playoff Monday night, Sunday night, or
Yeah, no,
something like that.
their finals was last night. It was an incredible game.
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
Taco caught the game-winning touchdown. I'm really excited. I'm gonna totally draft this kid in a dynasty league this year. It was Taco something or another for Montana State.
All right. You have any other questions about the playoff?
Well, who do you think is going to win? I mean, we sit here and the two games are happening tomorrow night. Or right tomorrow? No, Thursday. Thursday.
Yeah. Okay. Um,
So just who you got? Oregon, Indiana, and the Ole Miss versus the U.
man. First off, I'll tell you, even though it was happening, I had something going on. I was happy to see Indiana clobber Alabama. That
Yeah,
was
they clobbered
that was beautiful. That was special. Well, take a picture of it.
them.
But
Google it.
yeah, Tennessee fans have nothing else going on, so we just want to revel in Alabama
Sure.
getting blasted and then Georgia also losing. Um,
Yeah. So Ole Miss is the last SEC team standing.
they're the last SEC team standing. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? I mean,
Good for them, man.
and I know they got to deal with all this other stuff with their coaches potentially, going to LSU at this point. It's a mess. Um, I think out of the Ole Miss Miami game, I kind of lean towards Miami. I do like the edge rushers for Miami, particularly Bain, because he could potentially be a Titan by April, and he did really well. They got two good pass rushers. The defense is really stepping up. Um, I think I like the U. I think I like the U, and they're playing good football at the right time. And then as far as Oregon, Indiana, this is fun. Big Ten matchup in the semis. Um, they did not meet in the regular season, so this ought to be a fun one. You got Mendoza potentially going to be a Raider in a few months, so have fun with that, buddy. Um, you got him going against Dante Moore, who could also be in the top two. Uh, so you potentially have the top two quarterbacks right here in this matchup. But I think as far as like what Indiana has been able to do, I think Indiana's got the spark right now. I think I'm going to go with Indiana right now. Although Oregon is going to be a physical game. It's going to be a physical game between these two Big Ten teams. But I think I lean towards Indiana to come out on top on Thursday in this game.
Yeah. I have minimal knowledge, Ryan, but I am rooting for Indiana versus Ole Miss. I will just say in my amateurish watching of the game this past weekend, Ole Miss's QB is awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about this kid, except for what I literally saw on that game against Georgia, and I thought that kid was incredible. Thought he played great. I am rooting for them. Also, I just noticed the championship is in Miami.
Mm-hmm.
So if Miami does make it, you get a home game in the national championship. That's interesting and fun.
Yeah.
Um,
Which is
so
kind of like
I'm
if San
rooting,
Francisco makes a Super Bowl.
yeah, I'm rooting for Ole Miss though. I think I want the Disney movie. I want Ole Miss at this point to just make the run, win the whole thing, and like put that thing straight to Disney Plus. I would love it. That would be great. So I'm going Ole Miss versus Indiana for the championship. But again, I have no real analysis on this one. It's college football. I can name you. I was gonna say four players. I think I can name you two players. I can name you one player. Mendoza. You just said the Oregon kid's name, and I don't remember what it was.
Dante Moore. Dante Moore.
Dante Moore. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because like he could potentially be like, oh, who has the second pick? It's the Jets, isn't it? The Jets have the second
Yeah.
pick, so he could potentially be a Jet. Yeah. As you see, I'm kind of like in draft mode. I mean, I have been for the
Well,
last few
I
months.
hey, I can name you Taco Dollar. All right, and that kid, look out for Taco
Listen,
Dollar.
they said with the playoffs starting, we only got 5 weeks of the football season left. I'm like, man, it's gone by quick. But also, I've wished it to go by quick because my team sucks and I don't want to watch them play on Sunday. Unfortunately, they cable hasn't had them on in a long time, except the Chiefs game is when they were on. So I was a little excited about that, and I'm glad I got to watch it, even though the Chiefs weren't the Chiefs at that point. I was just excited to see the Titans actually do something positive for once this year. Um,
I really hope that's not a glimpse into my future, Ryan. We've had this stability for so long.
yeah, and the Titans have had none of it. So, um, I mean, I'll take some of it, but they had it with Vrabel, and then the last couple years, it's been a downward spiral. So, no, yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see how these semifinals unfold. It's going to be fun to see what happens. Yeah, Chambliss, the Ole Miss quarterback, he's been an awesome story this year. In fact, the guy that was supposed to be a starter, Austin Simmons, is now going to be at Mizzou next year. He just transferred in there. So, and also potentially, Chambliss can potentially come back for Ole Miss this year. So imagine he wins a title for him this year, and he can come back next year. That would make an interesting season for Ole Miss if you go and win a title, and you got him coming back.
He could do that, or he'd go to LSU.
Or LSU. But although from what I have seen is that he is getting another year of eligibility, so he's able to get that, and also that he's got a new deal with Ole Miss. And so I don't think there's any reason why Austin Simmons, the guy that transferred to Mizzou, why he would leave Ole Miss if that wasn't going to be the case. I feel that probably leads pretty strongly to him being back at Ole Miss next year. So that should be fun. No, it's a wild time here. You got that going on. You got the transfer portal stuff going on as well, which that's a whole nother mess right there. Oh, boy, but it's a fun time right now for football. In some cases, it's kind of like, okay, who's going to be our coach? Matt and I are kind of in that same boat right now. It's felt weird to say that. It felt weird to say that.
I bet. Yeah, that felt weird to hear.
Yeah. Well, also, and you know what? Hey, Peters had a coach fired, Penn State.
That's minor league coach.
And it's James Franklin. So, yeah, this ought to be interesting. I did just get a notification, from Schefter. It was like in the first 45 minutes after his firing, Harbaugh's agent was saying like, there are 7 NFL teams expressing interest in his client, and
of course there's
a lot of teams with current coaches that they have like, hey, we might be interested.
Well, was one of them the Baltimore Ravens?
It doesn't say that.
Okay, well,
I mean, there's 6 openings, and they mentioned 7, so there's somebody out there that has a current head coach that's probably like, wait, is it me? Yeah, Matt, this was fun. As always, we'll have to see where the playoffs go, and see where these next few weeks take us, and see who's going to be playing in Levi Stadium here in a few weeks. And see maybe if it's San Francisco, maybe they get a chance to play a home game in their home stadium for the Super Bowl. So we'll have to see. But fun as always, man.
Yep.
All right, everybody, that's going to do it for this edition of the show. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. First pod of the new year, we should say. We're only a few days into the new year, but fun first pod to get started in the new year. Do all the podcast stuff. Check us out where you guys get your podcasts. YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And until then, everybody, we'll talk to you guys soon.